I wonder if anyone has made a lo-fi version of that Crazy Frog song, because that could be just slow it way down.
Slow it way down.
Slow it way down. Put like a nice beat, I need to find it.
This
just the keyboard
is
part.
a crazy frog.
Gamertagged.
All right, everybody, welcome to the first episode of Gamertagged. Tonight, we will be interviewing Ryanocerus. Joining me tonight is our editor-in-chief, Portabella, who will be listening throughout the podcast and also documenting some details around Ryanocerus as we kind of get ready for ReRoll later in the show. Also joining us tonight is Munahif, who's going to be a guest on this podcast from time to time in a rotating chair to listen in and help guide and understand some of the digital identities that we have. Joining the show. Ryanocerus will also be providing us music during each episode. You get to hear some of his cool synth sounds, so he's our first interview. Welcome, Ryanocerus.
So Munahif gets a rotating chair?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
That's what I've always wanted.
It spins?
He does, yeah. He gets a rotating chair.
I had to bite my tongue to not interrupt you the second you said that. Because the joke hit me, and I was like, I gotta wait. Gotta wait. He's doing a thing. I gotta wait.
Gotta let the intro roll.
Yeah.
So we're here for, talking about the digital identity that Ryanocerus has created, right? That's the purpose of the show. In this show, we're exploring the digital identity that someone has created, through their gamer tag or through other mediums, YouTube, Twitch, whatever, right? Like we really just want to understand like the thing that you've made yourself to be, right? You chose this name, you chose a lot of things about this gamer tag or this identity, and we're exploring that. So Ryanocerus, what's your game? Like, where did your gamer tag come from?
Sure. So, spoiler alert, my name is Ryan in real life. And my aunt always called me Rhino as like my nickname growing up for whatever. I guess just, it kind of goes together. So when I was a wee lad going into college and getting my first Xbox of my own, so that I could, not go to class and play Oblivion for hours on end, I had to come up with the gamer tag, and the Ryanocerus gamer tag has kind of morphed and evolved with the way it's spelled. But the first one was like Rhino, R-Y-N-O, and then Ocerus. And now it's Ryan, R-Y-A-N, Ocerus. And I've had some other cheeky gamer tags between there, but that's kind of where it came from. My aunt gave me that nickname. I've always loved rhinos, so it seemed to just kind of make sense.
What's your favorite kind of rhino?
Oh, a white rhino. That sounds racist. I mean, I like all the rhinos, but...
Oh, you like the ones that are going extinct?
The one at the zoo by me is a black rhino, and I really like him. They don't have white rhinos are extinct. There are no more white rhinos. Not wild ones. There's some in zoos, I think. But fun fact for you.
Fun fact, yeah. Well, I mean, hey, look, that's cool.
Not fun fact. I don't know.
Probably not fun fact.
Disheartening facts.
Yeah, sad fact.
Things that make you sad when you think about it too much.
So like, what experience, like being called Rhino or Ryanocerus, what's people's vibe whenever they meet you? Or have you ever gotten any like random DMs from people about like, your name?
Oh yeah. It was when I had it spelled R-Y-N-O. It was like kind of Ryanocerus is how a lot of people would say it, and they would Rhino, because there were two no's in it, and they would get kind of confused on it. I think it, sort of. I wanted something close to my name so that if I was playing games and somebody said it, I could respond to it. I didn't think building like a separate digital personality with like a completely different name. I just think I would have just not for any like co-op games or multiplayer games. I wouldn't have been responding to stuff. So having something close to my actual name helps my ADD pay attention a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So, all right. So in the time period that you've had this identity, have you ever wanted to change this name?
There are moments in my life where I have lapses in judgment. And
for instance, right now, just so everyone listening understands, Your Discord title is titled Greatest Titan in North America.
Yes, correct. So I've been Ryanocerus, I've been Elspankosaurus, I've been Colorado Chewies. Trying to think. I'm not going to go through all the Discord ones because I change those based on whims. But
Yeah,
yes,
right.
it is currently Greatest Titan in North America. Mostly because that I think was suggested by you, and then it made me laugh. So I was like, that's a great idea. I should change it to that.
Yeah.
Who's listening and who may not know, what makes you the greatest Titan in North America, and what is a Titan?
Mm-hmm.
Titan is a class from Destiny 2. It's a game that we used to play, and then we stopped playing, and then we started playing again. And Titan is the class that I play because it's the one that's in the middle of everything. I'm not the greatest Titan in North America. Is it North America? North America. Because I don't pay attention to things, and I get myself into trouble and or killed a lot of the time. But
yeah, I mean, sure, but
I bring that Titan energy, and I think the
Yeah.
energy is what I'm
Right.
the greatest at.
I agree with that. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I may not be the best skilled Titan, but you're gonna have a good time, whether I'm being helpful or not.
Do you think like Titan energy and Ryanocerus energy is the same vibe?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first played that game, I was playing a different class, and you both were like, "Why are you playing this? You should be a Titan."
Yeah, you were playing a floaty warlock. That was
I was
your
playing
style.
Floaty Warlock, and I did not like the game.
Mhm.
I thought it was bad. I was like, "This is not fun," and then I converted.
Yeah, I think back then I was playing Titan, and I was like, your personality says that you want to run at stuff, not float over stuff.
Yeah.
So why are you playing this? Yeah. We just kind of like got into this a little bit, but like, where might people know your name from or have seen you in game most commonly? Like, knowing that you've changed your name.
Sure. I mean, most recently Destiny, if it's like a random person, I typically play. I mean, I'm usually rotating like 1 or 2 multiplayer games to play with my friends. If I'm not in those, I'm playing like a Skyrim or a Fallout or something that I'm going to spend hours playing. I like those games with like good stories. I'm more about the storytelling in the game than even the mechanics a lot of the time. If something has a good story, I will get sucked in right away.
That is the wildest thing you've ever said. Because having known you, I don't know.
I hate all the Destiny lore.
You don't care.
I skipped the cutscene. I think it's because that Destiny 2, I didn't play like from the beginning, like when it came out.
Yeah.
So I feel like so lost on any of the lore anyway that I'm like, well, I don't care. I just want to punch things.
A lot of it's inaccessible now too. You can't even go back.
Yeah, so it's. I mean, I could go
perpetually lost.
I could go read a Wikipedia or watch hours of YouTube video because the game's just been out for so long. There's just hours of content now, and so it's
7 years of story of Space Wizards.
It's a lot to catch up on.
Shout out to My Name is Bife, keeping everyone on track with Destiny lore.
I mean, that's not saying I don't skip cutscenes or like blow through conversations in those RPG style games, because I definitely do that too, depending on my mood.
All right,
but
so
that was my favorite game.
Let's dig a little bit deeper into your persona. So you use the same name across your creative work, and so like for folks who may not know, you're also a Spotify artist, and you do lo-fi synth. I have some real sick Charlie Brown remixes out there if anyone's looking for some Christmas music. So when using the same name across your creative work, was that deliberate?
So the name Ryanocerus, I'm actually like, this just hit me. I don't know why I remembered this, but so that I was using Ryanocerus for the last 10 to 15 years, however long it's been. Ryanocerus actually came from my Match.com profile name. I distinctly remember it made me have a username that wasn't my name, and I wanted to pick something that had my first name in it, but also told a little bit about me. And I like rhinos, so it just kind of made sense. Fun fact, I met my wife on Match.com. But so I ended up keeping that name and moving it over into the gaming space, and then now also into music.
Oh man! So like this name is like been a lot of different places with you.
It has, and it's. I mean, I use it for a lot of the other stuff now too, YouTube and other logins, and just again because I can't remember things. So if it's consistent.
Yeah. No, I get that. What's fascinating is you used your name on Spotify and Match.com.
Yeah.
Did people ever look you up from Match to see what kind of music you made?
So
Or was did that predate
yeah, that was after. Yeah, I wasn't making lo-fi style music until I've only been doing that for like the last 3 years or so. And I was on Match. I was on Match like 7 years ago.
It's crazy.
And then I had a few names, and I asked one of my buddies, one of my friends that does like music production too. I'm like, which one of these names says like lo-fi beats to you? And he was like, oh, definitely Ryanocerus. So I was like, cool, I'll go with that.
So how does your name show up when you're performing or making music? Like, do you like get into a headspace like, all right, this is the vibe of this character that I am? How does that work? Because you probably have some idea of like in your head, like what this shapeless thing is that you are. How does that show up whenever you're making stuff?
Sure. It's the Ryanocerus name, for me at least, is not shapeless. If you look at my Spotify, you'll see a very nice hand-drawn picture of a rhino in like a suit with like an old iPod in his hands listening to music. I had a guy in, I think, Minnesota drew that for me, and that's kind of the logo and what the look is. So that's sort of what I'm trying to channel, is that it's a rhino, but he's skinny and he's got a suit on, and there's a bird on his shoulder, and I'm just trying to, trying to channel like fun vibes.
Can't have a rhino without a bird.
Yeah, he's got the bird. Yeah.
That's cool. I'm going to switch gears a little bit because I think this is one of the things, right, about like your identity, right? Like, you know what it looks like, right? Like, you have a good idea of what you're trying to channel, and then that thing takes like different shapes when you're engaging in different things, like when you're playing as the greatest Titan in North America, or when you're making music. I know you said you had someone draw it, but how did you describe what that person could draw? Like, how did you tell that person what it was?
I'm trying to think. I think I found him on Instagram. He had actually had a drawing of an astronaut rhino. So it's like a regular rhino, like, 4 feet on the ground, but in like an astronaut outfit with like the helmet. And I was like, dude, that's
this guy gets me.
I saw it. I was like, man, I love that, because it's just such like it's a rhino. Why is it in space? Like, it's a weird conversation and a not a normal thing. And I think I had asked him if I could actually either buy that, or use it as my thing. But he was selling that on other designs and stuff. So he had offered to draw me my own, kind of custom thing. And he just sort of asked, what I was doing, what I was wanting to do with it. And I kind of described the music I was doing. And that he kind of just went with it. And he honestly, for someone who like, I don't know, like, just nailed it. It's so cool. I have the original drawing actually in my music studio.
That's super cool.
Framed and hung up. Yeah.
So you like had the idea in your head, right? Like, and then like once you saw it, you're like, I totally resonate with like this.
Yeah. I mean, because I think he sent me the digital version and was like, let me know if you want me to make any changes. And I was like, I don't know what I would tell you to change. It's perfect. Like, really, legitimately, I don't know what I would have changed on it.
All right. So, also knowing a little bit more about you work with data a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever think about how this online identity, like you mentioned a couple of different things you've been involved in, or places on the internet, like this identity shows up? Do you ever think about how your online presence shows up analytically from that data perspective?
That's a really interesting question. I don't think so. So I do data for work, and I do data for fun because I like baseball. That's about the extent of it for me. I haven't thought about like the trail I'm leaving necessarily, or like, I mean, I have thought about that, and I swept up some of the loose crumbs from, younger days when things were posted, or, compromising pictures were posted.
Deleted the Urban Dictionary definition of Ryanocerus.
Right. But I don't think I've thought about it in that regard. So I don't know how to answer that.
No, I mean,
that's a good question, though.
It's a fascinating question, is like our world becomes more digital, right? Like, right. I don't know how I would answer that question either, other than like, I always try to think about like, well, in the time period I've been this thing, like, what is that brand I'm trying to build? And honestly, like, I don't know how you feel about this, but like, you sound like you found a vibe and you just wanted to chase it.
Yeah, I don't think of the Ryanocerus even as a brand. It's me. And so like, the music that I do is just kind of is part of me. So it is a brand. I mean, it is a brand, so to speak, especially in the way I'm describing it, but I don't think I think of it that way. I'm just
Right.
this is just something I do. Like, this is something I put my hands on. Same thing with like games. Oh, this is something I do. So that's the name I'm using.
So if someone heard your gamer tag, right, and like didn't know you, what assumptions might they make about you, and would they be wrong?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of assumptions I've made based on
clearly
gamer tags.
You're not an actual rhino, right?
I mean, I might be.
Are you sure?
You guys can't see me. You don't know.
I don't know what your DNA correlation is to the rhinoceros.
I don't either. I don't. That didn't show up on the ancestry thing that I did. It didn't give me any animal DNA, which is probably good, I think.
Who knows?
I mean, I'll tell you, when I first heard your name, I thought you were going to be some kind of wildlife enthusiast or wildlife preservationist person with the rhino affiliation. And I don't know that you're not that, but it's definitely not the focus of your name for the time I've known you. But it definitely gave across the, this guy's into rhinos vibe.
I mean, I am into rhinos.
I thought you were a hardhead. That's what I thought. Like, I thought this dude wants to like butt with his own head and figure it out. And I was like, that's my energy,
I mean, kind of. I definitely will run in head first into things, not just in gaming, in life too.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I want to do that. Let me throw myself full force into this, and then we'll see how it goes.
You've also worked on plays, and you're a creative person, right? Like, that's your vibe. How does this character, how does that show up in a play? Like, how would you, like, what kind of play would this, your persona? I mean, even though you're saying it's one-to-one with you, right? Because I think that's true for a lot of people, that like your digital identity and your real identity start to like fuse. But how would this character show up in a play from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely shows up in, like I was just saying, how I will throw myself headfirst into things. I'm definitely always wanting to learn. I want to learn things like on my own terms. I don't want to be told what to learn, but I really do like continuing to learn and continuing to try new things. And the theater space has given me a lot of that. So I will throw myself headfirst into those situations. And even if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm all in. I'm gonna, and I'm doing it. I'm doing whatever it is until it's completed. On the reverse side of that coin, it can also be bad because I can get tunnel visioned. I can get hyper focused, and I'm really bad about A, asking for help, and then B, delegating that help once I get it. I'm kind of a control freak, so when it comes to for theater stuff like set builds and sound stuff, like I want input, but I don't that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to follow the input that's given, unless it's from a director, someone who's above me. But like, I'm really bad at asking for help.
You walk to the beat of your own drum.
I do, and I have visions and thoughts of how I want things to look or sound. And it's hard for me to like adjust those once I get the tunnel vision going. I'm like, no, I got to get this thing done. And I don't always trust people to do it, not necessarily the right way, but the way that I want it done. So I end up probably doing more than I should and wearing myself out.
Yeah, man. I super get that.
I didn't know we were going to get so deep on this.
Hey, man. I mean, I think it all kind of like connects together, right? That's the point of this show, right? Like we're talking about the blend of like your digital persona and your real persona, and like those things kind of mesh, and that's cool. I think a lot about that too, where the character that I make up in my head that I am, on the internet, I do cowboy shit, and I do that continuously in life, right? So like I totally get where you're coming from. What's one moment or story that only makes sense because of your gamer tag?
What's one moment or story that only makes sense because of my gamer tag? I've definitely met people, and not necessarily even people, that would be digital friends, quote unquote, that have heard of me. And it may not be that they necessarily know the Ryanocerus name, but they know that energy, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I've gotten, theater work because of the manic tunnel vision psychosis that I will bring to whatever project I'm assigned to. And that I won't just do it excellently, but I'll also go above and beyond. And I put in an insane amount of hours for that stuff when I'm doing it. And that's that energy that I bring.
That big rhino energy.
The big rhino energy that's just like, we're going to put some fake walls up and some fake doors and put some wheels on a couch, and that's going to blow their fucking minds.
All right. If you were starting from scratch, right? New account, new platform, would you pick the same name again?
Oh man, that's a wonderful question.
Like you get to reinvent yourself, right? Magic wand. Would you do it?
Am I just starting out in video games, or have I been playing video games and I'm now doing this online thing?
I don't know, right? For you in this case,
I think it would be,
because in your case, you've kind of blended all of the the different platforms together into this singular identity that you are. Would you, if you magic wanded the situation, would you, carve that up, partition it off? Would you make it different?
I think if I was just starting out, I've either haven't played games ever, or I haven't played games in 10 years, and I don't have any sort of existing online portfolio or profile, I think I would go with the same name. If I had been playing games, though, I had ideals, at one point, like probably many of us gamers did, of, I'm going to make it on YouTube, or I'm going to be a streamer. And that stuff's fine. It's, good on people that do that. I don't have the energy to be on for somebody, if that makes sense. I get, if I'm gaming, I'm not focused on an audience or a camera. So I'm not, it's just not my personality. I'm not a good fit for that. But I am curious as to, if I was starting out now, if, I think I might be, because I've done that already, but if I'm restarting and I hadn't done that, I might be interested in maybe I'll try this streaming thing. And then for me, it would be building that online personality, and trying to actually develop something that's interesting and something that's different. And I don't know, I'm not saying it would be or wouldn't be the Ryanocerus persona, but it could be something different.
Yeah, and this question to me is really important, because we get to choose these things that we are, right, in this format, right? You're given a name, you're given an identity, right? But you kind of build this digital identity, so you get to shape that however you choose to. And I don't know, man, I think when you're talking about streaming, your point I think you're making there is I don't know if I would want to connect my personal life and the life I want to have out on the internet, right?
Yeah. Do I want, if I was gonna live kind of more, I'm pretty private, if I'm doing the streaming thing though, you're making, whether it's you or not, you're making that, yourself a little more public. So do I want the, that being then connected to my music and people then being able to figure out who I am? Right. I don't know. Because I do value my privacy. I do value, kind of not being anonymous, but I definitely kind of go with the flow. I stay in the background. I'm not trying to ruffle feathers. I'm not trying to climb a corporate ladder. I'm just trying to get by a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it's that weird juxtaposition of, if I was restarting and I wanted to be this more outward facing, outgoing kind of thing, would I pick a different name that's then not associated with this Ryanocerus thing that is it part of me already?
Right. Yeah, because then you can like almost label two sides of your personality.
And
or your
life. And if I, and there's preconceived notions of what the Ryanocerus is. They're probably not crazy preconceived notions, but like, there's probably those preconceived notions. And if I wanted to do something like really, really different, I'd probably do a different name.
Yeah. So when you say preconceived notions, you mean like you've already kind of shaped this identity?
There's a shape to it. Even without the streaming and stuff. I mean, you listen to the music, that gives you a good vibe of like, I hope it's this guy's kind of chill. He's laid back. And if I was streaming, I think I would want to do that. But again,
what animal do you think would best represent that that group streamer therapy persona that you ideated on there?
I mean, and immediately I think sloth, but I think that's wrong. Just because like it's so chill, but I don't think that's the right answer. So now I'm trying to think of what the maybe the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland. Just like doing some drugs and like hanging out.
I have a very different recollection of Alice in Wonderland.
You don't remember the caterpillar?
No, that whole end of that scene was 100% about, it was the 70s, man. Like, that's when that was made.
I get it. I guess I don't remember the drugged up caterpillar.
Yeah. He was smoking
preaching good vibes.
Yeah, he was smoking
I don't think he was preaching good vibes. It would be a good vibe caterpillar.
Yeah, okay, all right. Your potential persona here for this thing would be a good vibe caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland.
It'd be like a frog hanging out on a lily pad.
Yeah, okay, all right, just chilling.
Yeah, just like chilling, like a frog, like legit lounging, not sitting like a frog would sit, but like laid back, like, yeah, man, we're just wherever the water takes us is kind of where we're going.
Like a Geralt of Rivia bathtub frog.
Yeah, but yes, that exactly that.
Well, I mean, this is why you decided to be part of this adventure we're starting here at Gamertag Studios, because that's what we do. We're talking to people and like trying to understand like the shape of their identity. So it was cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna getting closer towards the ReRoll segment, which will be coming up here in a minute. I know Portobello, our editor in chief, has been taking notes throughout the conversation. We're going to show you the prompt before we build your card. You already have some image of like who this persona is. We'll kind of see like those things.
I'm excited to see. I had that guy draw that thing and he nailed it without knowing me. So I'm kind of excited to see what this does.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be. Who knows?
Like a three-headed rhino looking at the moon or something.
We're going to hop into our ReRoll segment of the show. So in this segment of the show, our goal is to create a visual representation of your digital persona. Throughout the show, our editor-in-chief, Portobello, has been taking notes as you've been kind of going through. And she's going to read off some of the things she picked up on during the conversation that kind of stand out to her about like your personality, the shape of your digital persona. And then we're going to take all of that and we're going to feed it into ChatGPT and create an official Gamertagged trading card. You'll get 2 ReRolls, and you can, say, hey, I want to change the way it looks. I want to make this adjustment, whatever, and we'll ReRoll them live with you so you can see it. But after that, your Gamertagged trading card is final.
You're locked in.
Locked in.
Terms and conditions required.
Like, I want to ReRoll that. Like, I like the other one better, or am I just moving forward? Is this linear?
You're moving forward. It's linear. Period. Yeah. So be thoughtful about your choices. If you like the way it looks at first, who knows what happens.
I'll probably just stick with it. I'm pretty.
You're having your classic Scardo microphone experience of sounding half robot.
Oh, good. That's good. Yeah. So, Portobello, what are the things you picked up on in the interview with Ryanocerus?
So one of the key things just throughout is that you're a very sarcastic, humorous person. Like you probably crack so many jokes in the past time.
That hurt my feelings.
Yeah, you're a very fun person. You clearly love rhinos, if that was not clear enough. Specifically white rhinos. That's the one you called out the most. You like the different types of vibes for just game worlds in general. You typically tend to go towards like fantasy-esque games, but also kind of like any type of multiplayer, that type of thing. Anything that you can kind of get sucked into. You're also very creative and musical based on your artistry, doing lo-fi and being a Spotify artist. And then we're gonna put in your frogs and see what happens.
Oh yes.
Excellent.
It says loves white rhinos and frogs. Frogs are dope. I like frogs, yeah.
I'm curious to see what the mix will be. We'll see.
So, hear me out. Frogs riding rhinos.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it could be a frog sitting on a rhino's neck like the bird, I will never re-roll.
Well, we're going to put all this information in and see what we get. So you can see the prompt. You can see everything that we're entering in, right? And so we're going to enter all this information in and see what the card looks like. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
This is great for the audio audience. I'm sure they're going to love this portion.
Oh, for sure.
Put the card in like the image for the podcast title.
While our drawing gets started. So you've got a stylized persona description, right? So I'll read this. A towering frontline force named Rhino. This persona strides into battle with the cadence of a showstopper. Shoulders squared, drumbeat steady. They wear an armored synthwave exosuit with matte white rhino plating. Its horned helmet split open to reveal a smirking, stage-lit face beneath. Neon accents pulse in rhythm with the beat of a hidden soundtrack, casting purples and pinks across battle-worn gear. From their back swings a hybrid Warhammer microphone staff, doubling as a sound weapon and a dramatic prop. Their stance is theatrical, always mid-movement, as if dancing through chaos. Oversized shoulder pauldrons sport frog sigils, tongue-in-cheek nods to their sly humor. The world around them flickers like a Fallout broadcast fused with high fantasy glitchcore. Neon ruins, crystalline castles, and offbeat musical cues underscore every rich step. They're not just surviving the apocalypse, they're riffing on it live.
I feel attacked by the offbeat musical cues, firstly. Like, it's never offbeat.
I also don't.
I'm very upset about that. I also don't know what a pauldron is. It's like a cauldron with a P in front of it.
It would be shoulder armor, is what it would be.
Can I just throw out there that is the most AI slop sounding description that I've heard in some time?
Yeah, a little bit.
You can throw out whatever you like.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to come up with a different one. I just think it's ugh.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this supposed to be human me?
Yeah. This is your card.
Cool. Okay.
So you get 2 rerolls from here.
I didn't know if it was supposed to be like, yes, if it's supposed to be a representation of me or my digital persona, because it has a human face, and that's throwing me off, but not.
Okay, so you want to is the reroll you want to make that you want to change the face to being an actual rhino?
Yeah, that's the only change, and if those frogs could look more angry.
Angrier frog pauldrons.
Angrier frogs, and then an actual rhino. R-I.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! The title. With your forehead? What are you doing?
All right. So the prompt we're changing is: can we change the face?
Put frogs in there because I want to see what that is.
Can we change the face to being an actual rhino, and please add angrier frogs?
Yeah, that's good.
Right.
I like the stats. Cool. I hope this doesn't. If this is a lot worse, I'm going to be upset. Actually, I'll just say undo as the prompt, and then I'll go back to the other one. I will break your system. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'll break your system, Scardo.
Now we're getting into the real.
I see like a sun. I like that.
Yeah.
We're
shifting. This is the great part about
it looks
ReRoll.
Like a rhino head. It looks like the is it Cowboy or Bebop from Ninja Turtles?
Is Bebop.
Bebop
and Rocksteady.
Rocksteady. Where did I get Cowboy from? Good God.
Because Cowboy Bebop also exists.
Oh, look at that frog!
That is a crazy frog!
Oh, that frog looks so mad. God, I almost want to re-roll it just because I just am
to get it even angrier? Like
no, I don't. I just I'm like, what else could we change? I like the castle in the background.
Do you want
to? I like that it somehow got a predator gun on its shoulder. We didn't ask for that. It just showed up.
Do you want to? What would you change about? This is you've used your first ReRoll.
Change. I'm not sure if we can improve enough on it without the risk of it taking some of the stuff away that I like.
So if I was to feedback it, I do think this is very good, and I wouldn't want to change much. But right now, the Warhammer is going through its leg. The left leg, right as you look at it, because AI made it.
You can fix that in post, right? That's a
no. This is a last shot kind of thing here. So I mean, you got to choose wisely what you want to edit.
And I do feel like for a Rhino in armor in the future, hammer's got to be bigger, right? Like that's a.
Yeah. You need to remember the space on this is a trading card, right? So you need to choose Rhino or hammer. You could also have him riding a frog if you really wanted to. So
don't put ideas in my head first.
That might be too big of a shift. You don't know what you're going to get. Whatever comes up next is all you got.
Right. I need you to say I really like this.
All right, be thoughtful, be intentional.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's like when you wish with a genie and they like screw you. Trying to think of the right way to say what I want.
Okay. I'm ready to type in the prompt.
Oh no, you hit enter.
Oh, that was all you needed to know. Oh God.
Oh wait, you could build a whole crew around me? That's what I want. Is that a choice?
You could get like war frogs.
Ryanocerus and his war frogs.
Make the you got y'all. Hold on, yeah. Make the hammer bigger, remove the microphone from the back, but don't change anything else. We'll see how smart. This is a good test for AI to see how smart it is too. If it's you said don't change anything, here
change literally everything.
I'm gonna change all of it. If it starts loading and I don't see that sun, I'm just gonna turn my computer off. I'm turning it off. Bye. I changed the color palette. It's not purple anymore.
No, you just gotta wait, buddy. You just gotta wait. Trust the process here.
And then
I made a mistake. In terms of
we kept the angry frog, and it's angrier.
I like the frog bodies on the other one, but I like the size of the hammer.
Yeah.
I'm missing the sun. I did like the sun.
You got a sunset in the background.
We got a Disney castle in the background now instead.
Oh,
your D-pads! That's it.
Yeah, that's the winner. That's so good.
All right, we played our first game of ReRoll. We got to make the 2 changes you wanted to make, and this is your official Gamertagged trading card.
For all you audio listeners, you will want to go find this one. It looks great.
And you can find it on our website at gamertagpodcast.com. This will be out there for everyone to see. So are you down with this?
Yes,
do you like this one?
Oh, how could you not? What an improvement.
The only thing I would do is make the frogs have bodies on the shoulders, but that's such a small thing. This is great.
All right, we made it.
It makes up. Can you scroll up?
Wait, the hammer. He's holding it, but it doesn't go. The shaft doesn't go through. Where? What is it connected to?
This is AI. Don't worry about it.
This is our first ReRoll segment. What did you like? Did we capture the essence of all of the things that you are and your digital identity? It's a pretty dramatic shift from like your Spotify Rhino, right?
It is a dramatic shift. It's got the purpley stuff and I think as much as I'm like, it's kind of encompassed with everything. Like the Spotify Rhino is definitely a different Rhino than gaming Rhino. So
yeah.
I do think him not having boots but having the hooves out is very cool.
Yeah.
It's like the hooves are already battle ready. Nothing needed.
Yeah, and I want to knee something so that little mad face is like
leaves the angry frog
printed into something.
Even the color palette. The color palette's really cool.
Yeah, I like the color palette.
It like captured the synth and the lo-fi style to it. It's really dope.
It did.
All right, Ryanocerus. So where can people find you? Was there anything you want to shout out or talk about, like your work or anything you want to promote on the podcast?
I mean, yeah, you can check out the Spotify. That's where music is getting released in a very untimely manner.
Good deal. When can we expect that lily pads and frog vibes to be?
I'll start working on that in a couple weeks. Once this, I've got one show I'm working on right now, but once that show's opens, I'll have time to work on the frog pad, lily pad, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Lo-fi frog beats to lily pad on.
Okay, perfect. Lo-fi, look out for that, listeners, for lo-fi frog beats to lily pad.
It'll be available on the Gamertagged website before it's available on Spotify.
Oh yeah, special release.
Special release.
All right, well, Ryanocerus, thanks for joining us tonight on our first episode of the Gamertag podcast. Super appreciate your time and sharing your story.
Yeah, this was super fun. I didn't know what to expect, but it was a good time.
All right. Well, special thanks to Munahif for coming in tonight as our rotating chair co-host. You might see Munahif in here, or you might see, who knows, maybe Ryanocerus might join too. Who knows? And special thanks to our editor-in-chief, Portabella, for her work tonight and her future work of trying to edit all of this podcast. Good luck. This episode of Gamertag was produced by Gamertag Studios. Music by Ryanocerus. Editing and production by Isabella Sumner. Visuals by Oakland Ink Design. Hosted by me, Scardo46.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Gamertag. If you enjoyed today's episode, hit follow on your favorite podcast. Leave us a rating and share it with someone whose username has always made you curious. We drop new stories every other week, featuring creators, gamers, streamers, and digital personalities who shape their identity online. Got a Gamertag story of your own? Or know someone we should talk to? Visit our Linktree or our socials to reach out. You selected your character, defined your tag, and built your persona. Now come tell us your story.
Transmission ending. Goodbye.